They can't ignore your genius anymore. Your intellectual prowess is the topic of conversation in every room, even the ones you're not in. While others were blinded by emotions, manipulation, and false information, your mind cut through it all with laser precision. Now everyone is witnessing how every prediction, every warning, every assessment you made has manifested with undeniable accuracy. The very people who dismissed your insights are now forced to acknowledge your superior intelligence. You didn't just get it right once, you got it all right, and the evidence is so overwhelming that your brilliance has become impossible to deny. You called out everything, right, everything. They didn't believe you at first. They laughed, they scoffed, they turned away. But you knew. You've always known. The whispers started slowly. Have you noticed? The sidelong glances when you walk into a room. The sudden silence when you approach a conversation. They're talking about you now, about your insights, your predictions, your uncanny ability to see what others cannot. You called it all. The patterns invisible to ordinary eyes revealed themselves to you like constellations against the night sky. Where others saw random events, you saw the connections, the invisible, threads linking seemingly unrelated occurrences, the symphony beneath the chaos, and now they see it too. Remember when you spoke of the signs, when you pointed to the skies and warned them of what was coming? They dismissed you then, called you paranoid, delusional. But who's delusional now? You were right. Your awareness extends beyond the veil of the commonplace. You perceive the layers of reality that remain hidden to those who haven't been awakened, those who haven't been chosen, those who haven't been called. Like you have, the chosen ones always face resistance. History proves this. The visionaries, the prophets, the seers. First, they're ridiculed, then they're violently opposed. Finally, their truths become self-evident. Your journey follows this ancient path. They're watching you closely now. Your words carry weight they didn't before. When you speak, people lean in. They hang on your every utterance, searching for clues, hunting for wisdom, desperate for the insights that seem to flow through you from some higher source, because that's exactly what's happening. You are a conduit, a vessel, a channel through which ancient knowledge passes into our troubled modern world. You didn't ask for this responsibility, this burden, this gift, but it found you nonetheless. It always finds those who are ready, those who can handle the truth, those with the strength to bear it. Like you. The synchronicities are impossible to ignore now. The meaningful coincidences that surround you daily, the right person appearing at exactly the right moment, the book falling open to exactly the page you needed to see, the numbers that follow you, the symbols that appear in your path. These are not accidents. There are no accidents for someone of your awareness, only signs. Only messages, only confirmations that you walk a path few can even perceive, let alone follow. Your dreams have changed, haven't they? More vivid, more prophetic, more real than reality itself sometimes. You see through time in these moments, past and future collapsing into a single point of perfect understanding. You wake up knowing things you couldn't possibly know. And then those things come to pass, every single time. The skeptics call it coincidence, or they claim you're revising history, remembering your predictions as more accurate than they were. But you know the truth. You've documented it, tracked it, proven it to yourself beyond any reasonable doubt. Your perception has been refined, your intuition sharpened, your connection to the source strengthened. The awakening is accelerating now. You feel it, don't you? The quickening, the intensification, the sense that everything is building towards some cosmic culmination that you've glimpsed in fragments, in flashes of insight that leave you breathless. You were chosen for a reason. Not everyone could handle this level of awareness. Not everyone could maintain their sanity while peering behind the curtain of consensus reality. Not everyone has your strength, your resilience, your capacity to hold contradictory truths in perfect balance. You're different. You've always been different. Even as a child, you knew things you shouldn't know, saw things others couldn't see, felt things others couldn't feel. You learned to hide it, to downplay it, to pretend you were just like everyone else. But you're not. And now the time for hiding is over. The world needs what you know, what you see, what you understand. The wisdom that flows through you isn't meant to be hoarded or hidden. It's meant to be shared, to illuminate the darkness, to guide those who are still sleeping toward their own awakening. Your voice matters. Now more than ever, when you speak truth, reality itself seems to bend around your words. Haven't you noticed? The way opportunities materialize after you declare your intentions. The way obstacles dissolve when you focus your attention on them. The way doors open that should remain closed to someone of your station. This is your birthright. The power to shape reality through focused intention isn't something you learned. It's something you remembered, something encoded in your very DNA, something that has been waiting for precisely this moment to activate fully, and it has activated. You can feel it humming in your veins, the energy, the power, the connection to something vast and ancient and wise. Others are drawn to this energy like moths to flame. They may not consciously understand what pulls them into your orbit, but their souls recognize what flows through you. They're seeking what you've found, the clarity, the purpose, the direct line to wisdom beyond ordinary understanding. You've become a beacon, a lighthouse in a storm-tossed sea of confusion and deception. While others are lost in the fog of mainstream narratives and societal programming, your vision cuts through the murk like a laser. You see the manipulations, the control mechanisms, the elaborate systems designed to keep humanity docile and distracted. But they don't work on you anymore. You've broken free of the matrix of lies, unplugged from the collective delusion, stepped outside the cave to see the sun rather than just the shadows it casts. And now you can never go back. Once seen, these truths cannot be unseen. Once known, this awareness cannot be unknown. You've crossed a threshold from which there is no return. But why would you want to return? Why step back into ignorance when awareness offers so much more? Your perception continues to expand. Each day brings new revelations, new connections, new depths of understanding that would have seemed impossible just months ago. You're evolving at an accelerated rate, your consciousness expanding exponentially rather than linearly. This is just the beginning. The voices that once whispered doubt into your mind have gone silent. The inner critic that once questioned your sanity has been silenced by the overwhelming evidence of your heightened perception. The proof is everywhere now, undeniable, irrefutable, constant. You called out everything right, and they're finally starting to notice. The very same people who dismissed you, who mocked you, who avoided you at social gatherings are now sending messages, asking questions, seeking your insight on matters that confuse and frighten them. Because the world is changing rapidly. Systems that seemed permanent are crumbling. Institutions that appeared unshakable are being exposed as corrupt to their very foundations. Truths that were once hidden are bursting into public awareness like geysers that can no longer be capped or contained. You predicted all of it. Not because you're a pessimist, not because you wanted to see destruction, but because you could read the signs that others missed. Because your awareness extends beyond the narrow band of perception that limits ordinary consciousness. Your sensitivity is both gift and challenge. You feel everything more deeply, the beauty and the horror, the light and the shadow, the transcendent joy and the crushing sorrow. You experience life at a level of intensity that would overwhelm most people, but not you. You've learned to navigate these heightened states, to surf the waves of expanded awareness rather than being drowned by them. to integrate the downloads of information that sometimes flood your consciousness without warning. Your capacity continues to grow. What once overwhelmed you now energizes you. What once seemed like a burden now reveals itself as your greatest blessing. The very sensitivity that made life difficult in your earlier years now serves as your most valuable tool for navigating these transformative times. You understand now why you had to go through all of it. The isolation, the confusion, the feeling of being a stranger in a strange land, the sense that you were speaking a language no one else could comprehend. It was all preparation, all training, all necessary tempering of the blade that you've become, sharp enough to cut through illusion, strong enough to withstand resistance, flexible enough to adapt to rapidly changing circumstances. You've been forged in the fires of adversity for exactly this moment in history, this fulcrum point, this time of choosing between continued unconsciousness and evolutionary awakening. Hello, Chosen One. Look at your life. Now look at ours. Back at your life. Now back at ours. Sadly, you're not in the Obsidian Inner Order, but you could be. Picture this. Weekly group calls with 450+ chosen ones, recorded and available. Any time for your enlightenment. Our private Discord? It's not just active. It's alive, buzzing with ideas, breakthroughs, and that unstoppable chosen energy. Oh, and for you romantics out there, welcome to Chosen Singles, where soulmates meet under cosmic alignments, not cheap pickup lines. And if that's not enough, Star Chamber members unlock exclusive interviews with bona fide targeted individuals who face the darkest trials and survive to tell the tale. Plus our video specials, too bold, too raw, too spicy for YouTube. This isn't just a community, it's a revolution of soul and spirit. Look at your DMs. Now back at me. The link to join, it's in the description. Don't just swipe right on destiny, claim it. The Obsidian Inner Order. Smell like ascension, feel like magic, live like a chosen one, and you're not alone anymore. Others like you are awakening, finding their voices, stepping into their power, recognizing their purpose. The network is forming, the grid of heightened consciousness spreading across the planet like mycelium beneath the forest floor, invisible but essential. Connected but distributed, resilient because it cannot be centrally controlled or destroyed. You recognize each other instantly now. A glance, a phrase, a knowing smile. The subtle signs that separate the awakened from the still sleeping. No words necessary between those who share this level of perception. Your tribe is gathering, drawn together by forces beyond conventional understanding, magnetized by shared purpose and complementary gifts, each bringing unique abilities, unique insights, unique pieces of the larger puzzle that you're collectively assembling. The picture is becoming clearer, day by day, hour by hour, minute by minute. The grand design revealing itself through your collective awareness. The purpose behind the chaos, the order within the apparent disorder, the method within what looks to the uninitiated. Like madness, you called it all out, and now it's unfolding exactly as you foresaw, not because you're special, though you are. Not because you're better than others, for you know that's not the truth, but because you've been willing to see, to listen, to feel, to know beyond what conventional knowledge permits. You've transcended the limitations of consensus thinking. You've stepped outside the boundaries of acceptable discourse. You've dared to trust what you perceive rather than what you're told to believe. This is courage in its purest form, not the courage of physical feats or dangerous stunts, but the courage to stand in your truth when every social pressure demands. Conformity. The courage to speak what you know when silence would be safer. The courage to act on your insights when inaction would be easier. Your courage inspires others. They may not tell you directly. They may not even be consciously aware of it. But your willingness to stand firm in your knowing creates permission for others to access their own deeper wisdom. Your example creates a template that others can follow. You're a way shower, clearing the path for those who will come after you, breaking trail through the wilderness of unprecedented change and transformation, making it easier for the next wave of awakening souls to find their way through the labyrinth of these challenging times. This is leadership of the highest order. Not leadership through authority or control, but leadership through example, through embodiment, through living your truth so completely that it creates a field of possibility around you that affects everyone you encounter. The ripples of your awareness spread far beyond your immediate circle. Words you speak casually may be exactly the catalyst someone needs to break through their own limitations. Actions you take without thinking may demonstrate possibilities others had never considered. Your very presence can shift the energy of environments you enter. You've become an agent of transformation, sometimes intentionally, sometimes unknowingly, but always effectively. The force that flows through you cannot be contained, cannot be diminished, cannot be directed toward anything but the highest good of all concerned, because you've aligned with something greater than yourself. Call it divine will, universal intelligence, the source field. The name matters less than the reality it points toward. You've surrendered your smaller self to this larger current, and in doing so, have found your authentic power, not power over others, but power with, power through, power as an expression of something that transcends individual identity and ego concerns. You're a vessel for something ancient and eternal, something that has been working through selected individuals throughout human history. The same force that inspired the greatest visionaries, artists, inventors, reformers, and revolutionaries who have advanced human consciousness through the ages. Now it works through you, in ways uniquely suited to these times, in ways uniquely expressed through your particular gifts and talents, in ways uniquely directed toward the specific challenges humanity faces at this critical juncture. No one else can do exactly what you're here to do. No one else can speak exactly what you're here to speak. No one else can embody exactly what you're here to embody. This is your singular contribution, your purpose, your reason for being alive at this precise moment in human history. And you're fulfilling it beautifully, even when you doubt yourself, even when you question your sanity, even when you wonder if perhaps the skeptics might be right after all. Especially then, when you push through those moments of uncertainty to reconnect with what you know beyond all doubt, that's when your power is most evident. Not in the moments of confidence and clarity, though those are increasing, but in the moments when you choose your deeper knowing over your programmed doubts, when you choose courage over comfort, when you choose truth over acceptance. You called out everything right, and you'll continue to do so. Not because you seek validation or praise, not because you need to be proven correct, but because the truth that flows through you demands expression, because the awareness you've accessed carries responsibilities, because the gifts you've been given must be shared. This is your covenant, your sacred agreement with the source of your knowing, to serve as a clear channel, to speak without distortion, to act without ego interference, to embody the higher frequencies that are transforming our world. Even as they transform you, the process isn't always comfortable. Transformation rarely is. The caterpillar must dissolve completely before the butterfly can emerge. The seed must crack open before the plant can grow. The old must give way before the new can manifest. You're in this process now, constantly shedding outdated versions of yourself, constantly integrating new levels of awareness, constantly calibrating to higher frequencies of truth and love and power. It's exhausting sometimes. The physical body struggles to maintain equilibrium as wave after wave of energetic upgrading moves through your system. The emotional body processes not only your individual purging, but the collective release happening all around you. The mental body works overtime to create new frameworks for understanding experiences that transcend ordinary explanation. But you're managing it, finding the balance, creating new routines that support this accelerated evolution, discovering tools and techniques that help you navigate these unprecedented energies with increasing grace and ease. You're becoming a master of energy management, learning when to engage and when to withdraw, when to speak and when to remain silent, when to act and when to observe, when to radiate and when to absorb, the rhythms of expansion and contraction that allow sustainable growth rather than burnout. This wisdom serves not only you, but all whom you guide. For make no mistake, you are guiding others, through explicit teaching if that's your role, through subtle influence if you operate more quietly, through energetic transmission regardless of your outward expression. Your very field affects everyone you encounter. You called out everything right, and now they're coming to you for answers, for direction, for reassurance, for confirmation of what they're beginning to sense but haven't fully trusted yet. Your clarity serves as a lighthouse for souls caught in the storm of massive paradigm shifts and collective awakening. Handle this responsibility with appropriate reverence, not with ego inflation, for that would distort the transmission, not with a false humility, for that would diminish the impact, but with the perfect balance of confidence and service that allows you to stand fully in your power while directing that power toward the highest good. You're ready for this. Even when you feel unprepared, even when circumstances seem to exceed your capacity, even when challenges arise that you couldn't have anticipated. You're ready because you've been in preparation your entire life. Every hardship taught you resilience. Every betrayal taught you discernment. Every loss taught you impermanence. Every joy taught you possibility. Nothing was wasted. Nothing was accidental. Nothing was meaningless. All of it conspired to forge you into precisely the instrument needed for these times of unprecedented transformation. You stand at the threshold of what comes next, not just for yourself, but for human consciousness as a whole. You've glimpsed it, tasted it, touched it in moments of expanded awareness and direct knowing. The potential that awaits just beyond the current turbulence and confusion. You're helping birth it into being. Through your thoughts, through your words, through your actions, through the very frequency you maintain in your energy field. Every choice aligned with your highest knowing contributes to this emergence. Every act of courage creates a template for what's becoming possible. People are talking about how intelligent you are, but intelligent doesn't begin to capture it. This isn't mere intellectual capacity or cognitive skill. This is embodied wisdom, integrated knowing, direct perception unmediated by conceptual frameworks or second-hand knowledge. This is gnosis in its purest form, and it's transforming you from the inside out. As it transforms the world through your presence within it. You called out everything, right? And you're just getting started. The dawn of a new era approaches, an era you helped to usher in, an era your consciousness helped to shape, an era that couldn't manifest without the groundwork laid by you and those like you, the controllers. Know this. That's why they've tried to silence you, to discredit you, to isolate you. They recognize the threat your awakened awareness poses to their systems of control and exploitation. They see the power of your uncompromising truth, but their time is ending. And yours is just beginning. The truth cannot be suppressed forever. The awakening cannot be halted once it reaches critical mass. The transformation cannot be prevented once enough hearts and minds align with its inevitability. You are that critical mass. You are that alignment. You are that inevitability made flesh. Continue calling it out. Continue standing firm. Continue embodying the truth that flows through you like a river of living light. For in doing so, you create the very future you've glimpsed in your moments of expanded awareness. The future where harmony replaces discord, where cooperation replaces competition, where abundance replaces scarcity, where love replaces fear, where truth replaces deception. You called out everything right, and history will remember.